We are a culture drowning in possessions. We take in more and more at an unprecedented rate. Holidays, birthdays, weekend sales, Amazon. But rarely do we make commitments to discard things as quickly as they accumulate. So as a result, our homes fill up with stuff. Often, the proposed solution to this increased amount of possessions is to search for better organizational tools, skills, or ideas. We think to ourselves, if I just had the right container, this stuff wouldn't feel like clutter. Or if I just knew the right way to store these, it would be easier to use this cabinet. If my kids or spouse were better at cleaning up, this house wouldn't feel messy all the time. Or how about this one? If I just had a bigger home, it wouldn't feel so cluttered all the time. In each and every case, and in countless other scenarios, we fall into a trap. And the thought trap is this: if I could just organize my stuff better, the clutter issue and stress would be gone. This thinking is a result of the culture we live in. I mean, keep in mind that we are constantly bombarded with advertisements to purchase more and more. And virtually every advertisement promises a better, happier, or more convenient life on the other side of this one purchase. We buy things because we believe they will improve our life, not distract from it. Taking a step back to realize the things we've bought are not contributing to a better life requires an almost 180-degree turn from what we've been told. Even worse, it requires us to admit that we were wrong. It's much easier to think we were right when we bought the items, and we just need a better way to store them. So we stubbornly hold to this belief that all this stuff is improving our life and we just need a better way to organize it. Now, just for the record, there's nothing wrong with organizing our stuff. I certainly recommend it. But there's an important truth that we need to embrace. Organizing better may not be the final answer. It might not even be the first answer. Organizing your stuff becomes simpler when you own less of it. Or like I said in the title to this video, organizing is always easier after minimizing. In fact, a lot of times, once we own less, organizing seems to take care of itself. Courtney Carver, a writer at BeMoreWithLess.com, may have shaped my understanding of organizing more than anyone else, and she did it with two spot-on sentences. I don't remember the exact context of the quotes, but somewhere along the way I ran into them and I've repeated them over and over and over. The first thing I heard her say was this: "Don't you think if organizing was the solution, you'd be done by now?" Organizing, you see, is always only a temporary solution. You can organize all your stuff today, only to have to organize it again tomorrow, no matter how great your system might be. That's one of the reasons why organizing tips and organizational tools never go out of style in stores. As long as the possessions are still in your home, we need a place to store them again and again, over and over. The second thing I heard her say, which is so true, went like this: if you have to buy stuff to organize your stuff, maybe you have too much stuff. Think about it this way. We live in a way that is entirely foreign to past generations. Never in human history have human beings owned as much stuff as we do today. We own so much that there are entire industries based on the assumption that we'd rather buy more stuff to store our stuff than remove our stuff. Have you stopped to think how crazy it is that department stores line entire aisles with plastic totes just so you have a place to store all the stuff you've already bought from that exact same store? It's like we're paying them for the privilege of keeping more and more of their stuff in our homes. If you own too much, minimizing possessions is always better than organizing. And not just because of the reasons that Courtney mentioned, there's other reasons as well. For one, minimizing possessions is a permanent act. Whenever something leaves our home, it frees up physical space and is gone forever. The action doesn't need to be repeated over and over again. Once that possession is out the door, whether it be by selling, donating, recycling, or discarding, the physical space is freed up and the mental space clears up as well. A second reason minimizing is better than simply organizing is because organizing never benefits anybody else. Organizing our things, moving them around from room to room or shelf to shelf, affords no opportunity to help another person. The reality is that our excess stuff can be a blessing to somebody. The unneeded items in your home are the very things that somebody, somewhere, desperately needs. And that person may be someone right in your own community, the single mom, the recently laid off father, the unemployed college graduate, the refugee family, or the homeless man trying for a fresh start. If you're just moving stuff to different shelves, organizing it over and over again inside your four walls, another person's need remains unmet. Minimizing our things and donating them intentionally, on the other hand, gives us opportunity to help those who need those things. Most of us want to help others. We want to solve problems we see. We want to be generous with our resources. Oftentimes, we just can't seem to find the margin to do so. There's no money left. There's no time left. There's no energy left at the end of the week. But look around your home. That closet stuffed full, the drawer that doesn't close, the garage you can't park in, those are all opportunities to give and help. But not until you get past the thinking trap that keeping our stuff is improving our life and organizing is the answer. A third reason minimizing is better than organizing is that removing unneeded possessions from our home begins to change us from the inside. Minimizing our things forces self-reflection in a way organizing can't. For me, this happened when I started taking minivan loads full of things to our local thrift drop-off center. I took one van load of donations, dropped it off, I felt great about myself. Then I took a second van load, still felt great to free up the space in my home. Then I took a third, and then a fourth. And somewhere along the line, I started to ask myself some pretty difficult questions. Specifically, why in the world did I have 4 van loads of things in my home that I didn't need? I'll admit I didn't like what I found when I started asking that question of myself. I started to realize some pretty unhealthy motivations in my heart: jealousy, envy, trying to impress others, fear-based mindset, just plain unintentional living. Those truths were difficult to discover, and I continued to learn more and more, but they were helpful to recognize in that moment. Organizing alone would not have revealed those things to me. Just putting things in a box, setting them on a shelf, doesn't prompt deep, life-changing questions like minimizing possessions will. And one final benefit of minimizing our stuff rather than just organizing: minimizing blazes opportunity for life change. Just reorganizing your stuff may clear up some physical space for a little while, or may make your home a bit more efficient, but it will never spark significant changes to the way you live. If you struggle with clutter in your home, finding better organizing solutions is not the answer. The first best step is to remove the excess possessions from your life. When you do, you will permanently free up space, help others, create an opportunity for self-reflection and life change. Your view of your home and possessions will change, and organizing will become easier because there will be fewer things to store.